Big thing to take away from at least one of these games was Nicolas Batum coming back. And Embiid was a big fan of Nicolas Batum coming back. So just a few stats about Batum. So since we've acquired Nicolas Batum, we're Sixers are perfect 5-0. And the big thing is everyone's talking about is his plus minus. He's got a plus 76 for the 76ers since being on the squad, which is wild. Also ironic, plus 76 with the 76ers. Maybe he just keeps that for the rest of the season. Yeah. But Embiid had some great comments to say about Batum. Quote, he's the key. He's special. With the way we play, he just fits everything we need. Great shooter, great defender, great passer, great basketball IQ. He just fits everything we need. So my question is, and also there's just ties here with them. I believe Batum was born in France, but his dad is of Cameroonian descent. So there is some that ties they have together, and they've been friends off the court for years, which I didn't know until there was an article written about it after we traded for him. But what do you guys think about Batum? Do you think he's the key? Do you think he is the glue guy for our squad?
Well, I mean, if you look at him historically, he has been looked at as that type of guy, and for other teams and and his role. I think, like with a lot of players, when he signed the bigger contract and the responsibilities became more, that's when you kind of seeing people see him differently. I think with the Clippers, it kind of was a roller coaster. Where he was looked at in the manner that he's kind of looked at now with the Sixers, and then he was frowned upon in other ways. So I believe if the consistency can stay there, the role can be defined to where it's realistic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we give these guys roles, or they have roles that sometimes I believe aren't realistic as far as them maintaining that for a season.
Mm-hmm.
I think if that happens, he can definitely help us. I mean, the versatility, he can play big, he can play small, he can spread the court, knock down the shot, decent, handling the ball, not a turnover guy. So he can definitely help us, as you can tell when he's on the court, good things are happening. So he's a guy that I think we can benefit from, especially his maturity and experience when playoff time comes.
Yeah, I think we needed a guy like this for years. Maybe that's why Embiid's so enthusiastic about it. We've just been missing someone like this. I think we've tried getting guys. I think, more to the point, I think he's exactly what we wanted Tucker to be for us. So he's kind of like Tucker production, but not as like outspoken and doggy, right? He doesn't have that. I don't think Batum's going to pull Embiid aside in a game.
Yeah, they're kind of looked upon as far as the glue guys, but I don't think they're similar. I think in the manner and the way that they play, because I don't see Batum being the guy that we can go try to put it on Jokic. You know what I'm saying? I just see it differently. I see the impact being similar, but the style of play being totally different, and the role being different.
I think Batum, we lose the Jokic defending, but we gain, I think, some of the quicker wing defending also. I think I would be more comfortable putting Batum on Tatum for more possessions than I would have been for like PJ Tucker. You know what I mean? So, we lose a little of the big, I guess, flexibility, but we gain, I guess, some of the wing flexibility, which I don't mind so much. And then, he has the highest. Sorry, I looked at some stats. He has the highest effective 2-point percentage on our team, highest offensive rating on the team, highest total rebound percentage on the team. Out of the top 5 lineups that produced the best point differential, he's in 2 of them. And interesting enough, which I found kind of cool, one of the better lineups that produced a plus 64.3 is a lineup with him, Harris, Maxey, Reed, and Springer, which I was like, okay, that's interesting. Plus 64. He's just such a good glue guy. He makes all the right plays. He's the basketball player, like cliche in a good way. Like he just makes the right plays. You hear that all the time, but he just totally embodies that. I really want to keep him. I don't think we have any plans to move him, but I'm sure for the right deal for the guy we want, I'm sure we would. But if he can stick around as long as possible, and if we do replace him, at this point, I think he's shown us the exact kind of player we would need moving forward at that 3. I think that is the prototype of player. So if you are going to replace him, you got to replace him with like a rich man's version of what he is, like a younger version of that.
Well, who would you put him on? Like, what kind of players? What players in the league would you compare him to that you're thinking of?
It's tough. I mean, funny enough, probably a close comp would be kind of an Anunoby type. Really, he's got that in him.
Here we go.
I wasn't playing this, but
This guy fits every role that's ever come up with the Sixers.
it's a decent comp for him though.
This guy's fit every role. I mean, come on, man. He can't fit everything.
I knew you were gonna say Anunoby too. It's a funny.
Look, they're about an inch apart height. He can play wings. He can rebound. He can hit open shots. He makes the right kind of plays. It's not like sexy or flashy. Either one of them, they're not, but they're really good players. I mean, if you want to get to the brass tacks, I love Batum's contract. And I love that he makes what he makes as opposed to, Anunoby, who's going to be making a lot more than that, probably triple, maybe even quadruple more than what he makes.
And you won't like him when someone's going to get his money.
Hey, Batum's happy with his contract, so I'm happy if he's happy.
I'm just letting you know.
But yeah, that would be like a comp. I'd have to think about that. Other guys that kind of fit that Batum mold. But yeah, that'd be one. And obviously, it came to mind because we've been in like talks about getting him for the past 6 months or so, 3 months. But yeah, I just think that at least we know now. And we said this, right? Like, this whole period is obviously about winning games, but at the same time, we're planning for this year and beyond. So we need to know what kind of players really fit that. So when Embiid says stuff like that, he's saying like, A, don't get rid of him. And if you do, replace him with a player like that. We want like that. You put a classified out for that kind of player. So
if the front office is listening to him, they're not going to trade him.
Yeah.
And keep him around.
It's the French connection, baby.
Yeah, French connection. Yeah, exactly.
I bet you that's a T-shirt on some website right now.
There's got to be a French connection shirt with Batum and Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a nice snapshot of them from the Brooklyn Nets game this past weekend.
There you go.
Yeah. But Eric, do you obviously? We make a joke of the OG Anunoby comparison to Batum, but like if you're trying to think of a player comp, maybe someone younger than Batum, who would be someone you would think maybe could fit that mold of Batum if we were trying to get younger, like a younger guy like that?
I mean, the team that we just played has a couple guys like that. Hunter from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Very similar. So there's some guys out there like that. I don't know if there's many guys out there that's going to fit Teja's salary request, but yeah, it's some guys out there. I mean, that are have that. I think the kid from Minnesota that they just gave a contract to. That's
a good McDaniel. Yeah, that's a good one.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Is that his brother that played with us?
Yep.
But, he's similar. You probably find some guys on many teams that are, sort of like that.
Cam Johnson for the Nets.
Yeah, I see Cam as a little different because I see him more strictly 4. I don't see him more as much 3 as some of those other guys. Whereas Batum, I've always seen him as a 3-4, not a 4-3.
Yeah. Wiggins.
Yeah, but I think Wiggins is better. I mean, he's playing a role there.
Yeah.
He's playing a role there, but I mean, Wiggins has been a 20-point scorer. Yeah,
no, for sure. I'm trying to think of like other comps like that. Wiggins. Yeah, it's not easy.
I mean, you go through the league and you can find some guys. Some of the guys are younger, but some of the guys aren't as maybe established and didn't necessarily become a starter. Like a guy like Prince from the Lakers is very similar.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Just didn't have the big contract, and that's what I'm saying. Like some people are looked differently because they haven't really had that big contract and those expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But Batum and Prince are, you know what I'm saying? Their roles are very similar. Right now,
Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, but Harrison has been the guy though. Batum's never really been the guy. Is what I'm saying. Like he's never really like Harrison was looked at as to be a 1 or 2 option. That's where I say it's different. Like Wiggins and Harrison Barnes, those guys during their career has been looked at to be a 1 or 2 option. So I'm saying maybe now it's a comp, but not. I'm looking career wise.
Okay, I'm just looking at like if you were like casting a role for like Batum.
Sacramento would never give up Harrison Barnes for Batum.
But
we would.
No.
But we would though. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That tells you where it's different.
Yeah. I'm talking about like swapping out guys, but these are the kind of guys you'd make the kind of calls for them, right?
Yeah. Well, lucky we were able to pry him away from the Clippers. I know they didn't want to throw him in the trade, but we somehow got him. So
I see why now.
Yeah.
Back then, I'd be like, "What? They're not doing this over Batum." But I'm looking at it now. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, okay. I see why. I see why they didn't want to do that."
Yeah, keeping.
Here's a good one. I'd rather have Batum, but it is close. Jeff Green can play some 3, can play some undersized 4. Smart player.
He's been playing undersized 5 too.
I know. Yeah, like a tweener between Covington and Batum, actually. Yeah. Royce O'Neal, kind of similar. Also,
yeah.
All right, so what's that?
You got me going looking for comps.
I know.
I mean, what's the guy from the other guys are even better comp for the Nets. Finney Smith.
Oh, Finney Smith, yeah.
That's another good one. Yep. Yeah, they got a lot of those guys, huh?
They do. Yeah, they got a lot of those wing types in that Durant trade.
Yeah, that's a whole other discussion. They need to do something with it. They got a lot of redundancy in just weird lineups and flows on that team.
Yeah, there's suddenly been this big thing on the Sixers Twitter as far as being able to trade our assets to get Bridges. It ain't happening.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
He was a centerpiece of a Durant trade. We ain't getting him for a bunch of first-round pick swaps. It ain't happening.
Nah,
I wish.
Not happening.
I don't know. Maybe Sean Marks might do it. I don't know.
Oh, well, look with that. And he's young as hell. He doesn't want to be tortured the next 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Nah, no way.